Hey everyone, welcome to Sketch-a-Day. It's the new year, 2016. Hope you had a great holiday season. I did. And I'm Spencer. I forgot to mention that. I'm here with Sketch-a-Day. Sorry, it's been a while. Today we're going to be doing some really cool stuff with the iPad Pro and just showing you kind of an interesting workflow to show you how I work, or potentially how you could work rather with the product. So I'll be using a sketch that I actually used before in another video and showing you how I would modify this to create something really cool. So if you have a tablet, great. If you don't, you can actually do something similar with your tracing paper, marker paper, all that good stuff. Before we get started, if you'd like to be connected to the community, you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/sketchaday or visit me at instagram.com/sketchaday. So I have here with me my iPad Pro right here, and one of the cool things that technology does or is able to do for us is help us work more efficiently. So the sketch I have is a sketch here that we used in a video before, which I think was how to sketch a boot. And it was a two-part video that I did with markers and pens and all that good stuff. So what I'd like to do is actually sketch a basketball shoe, and instead of doing all the work all over again to show you how I did all this, you know, here you can see I've got some planes, some circles, some construction lines, all that good stuff. I'm actually going to take my iPad Pro here, and I'm using PROCREATE app. So there are other apps that are similar that let you draw and all that good stuff. I just have some custom brushes that I like to use here. And if I go to my little wrench, hit insert, I have an option to take a photo. So I'm just going to tap that, and now I have the camera on the iPad pulled up. So just standing up, looking at my desk. Hopefully you guys can see this, maybe not. Let's see, let me move this over. Okay, so I'm gonna stand up. It's gonna be a little harder for you to see. But I'm gonna take a picture of this shoe. Boom. So now I have a picture on my iPad Pro of what was on my desk. Really cool. You know, before we had things like tablets that could do this, you'd have to take your sketch, scan it in the computer, and then you could go ahead and start modifying. So I'm gonna hit use photo, and so now in my layers, I have a new layer that is this shoe. And if I want to scale, for example, I can tap the arrow, scale that around. I'm gonna do a few things to modify this to make this more like a basketball shoe. But first things first, just double tap on the layer. I can adjust the opacity down so that now I have more of a guide for my sketch process, okay? And the other thing I'm gonna do is actually just cut this up a little bit. So with my selection tool here, I'm gonna draw a selection like so. And now, going back to my arrow tool, I can actually rotate this sketch and just kind of piece it together because I wanna tweak the proportion just a little bit on this guy, okay? So once I've done that, just hit the arrow again. Okay, now that's set, I'm gonna jump to my new layer that I created and my set of brushes. I know there have been a few of you that have asked for this brush called the Spencil. Hang tight, I'm making some other custom brushes and I'd love to share those with you. And I'm trying to figure out how to do that exactly. So give me a minute, we'll get to it. So now that I have that underlay, as it were, I can start to use this and sketch over, okay? And a basketball shoe is gonna have, you know, a little bit of a high top. And so I'm just gonna rough this out, like so. And like I said, I'm just modifying a little bit as I go. But the cool part is I have something to kind of guide me here. So erase what I don't need. And now I can start to add some design elements to this shoe. Okay, I'm gonna do something like that. And just working on the tooling here. back. And of course, one of the cool things about digital tools is just being able to erase what you don't need. Can't tell you how awesome that is. Just being able to, start with your sketch, and if you find something you don't want or need, just being able to erase that is so useful. Okay, so you can see I've got a nice little rough outline here, and I love working in layers, so that's the other thing. If you just tap that button with the two squares that are overlapping in Procreate, you'll get your layers window popped up, and you can add layers for things like laces. And this is useful because I don't really want to mess up my main drawing. And so just by working in layers rather, I'm able to be very non-destructive in the way that I do this, which is useful if you are like me and you have a client who might need some changes later on, okay? So that's really what it's about for me. I like having optionality. You just have to remember what layer you were on and where you were working. Okay, so now I've got enough here that I can kind of either turn the opacity way down, but again, we kind of use that photo to start our sketch off, which is super useful. And I'm just kind of playing around here, so let's finish off our laces. Don't know what that was weird. Just doing it again. Might just be a weird bug with the pencil here, which frankly can happen, so. All right, I'm almost to a place where I can kind of merge these layers, so I'm just going to hit merge down because I'm satisfied with where the laces are ending up. And so now I can start to show where the laces would come out, for example, on the shoe, because I'm satisfied with the rough sketch. And using some line weight here, we can bring out some depth. Bring out some depth in this main sketch. And one thing I like to do with shoe sketches, just to make them a little more exciting, kind of do this lace, we'll call it lace whip. So it's almost like the shoe was caught in motion or something, and here are the laces, you know, just kind of whipping out. All right, so this piece of the shoe, I want this to be part of the tooling. So I'm gonna bump my line weight and also introduce some thickness around here on the back. And because this is pressure sensitive, I can add things like surfacing details and show that using, you know, thinner line weight, for example. So maybe there's some core material in there. This area is kind of a hot mess, I'll admit, but let's see if we can clean it up a little bit in here. Oops, let's merge these layers. And let's see if we can make a little more sense of this. So for example, I like the idea that my tooling here almost comes in like so, and maybe this little doodad kind of wraps back, gives me my support. So I've got almost like a cross section, something like this. It's kind of cool to me. Starting to feel a little heavy. I'm going to play with this angle here. Maybe bring this back something like that. All right, so I'm going to leave that for now. Maybe bring this down. Yeah, I kind of like that. So maybe bring that down and, you know, line these up a little bit. Let's get rid of this mesh section here rather. Maybe have that, we'll see. Oh. Maybe have that tying a little bit. Okay. So a couple more details, maybe just some holes for breathability right there, and sock liner. Okay. And now I can turn off this layer, which is the original photo, okay, that we took. And now I've got a sketch of a basketball shoe. And I did that again by taking a photo of an existing rough sketch that we did a few weeks ago as an underlay for a boot. And I was able to just quickly modify and manipulate that on the iPad Pro, which is pretty cool. So that concludes this part of the demo, which will cover basic line work and sketching in Procreate for the iPad Pro. And just showing you just that really cool trick, how to take a photo of something that you may have drawn, or you could even take a photo of an existing shoe, which is really cool, and draw over that. So hopefully you've enjoyed that and picked up something new and interesting, perhaps, if you're trying to figure out what you wanted to do with your digital sketching products. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And if you want to follow me or find me, you can go to facebook.com/sketch-a-day. and you can message me, interact with the community there. There's also instagram.com/sketchaday.com, where I try to post a sketch at least every day. We'll see how this year goes. And I'm gonna be better at this year, but I'm also on Twitter at Daily Sketches, so you can find me there as well. Well, thanks again. We'll see you next time right here on Sketch-a-day.